Have you ever noticed the moment you decide to actually do something with your life, the loudest doubts won't actually come from strangers. They come from people sitting right next to you, your childhood friends, your hometown family, or just people in your inner circle. With that being said, today we're going to talk about the uncomfortable truth of leveling up. Most people don't want to see you fail. They just don't want to see you doing better than them. With that being said, if you've been feeling like that lately, people have just been looking at you in a different manner. You're not going crazy. With that being said, I'd advise pull a chair, let's sit down, let's talk about the uncomfortable truth of leveling up in life. Welcome to episode 2 of Sit Down with Abe. In life, people like to feel relatable. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the concept crab in a bucket. If you're in a bucket full of other crabs as a crab, and you guys are just doing the exact same thing, you're going to feel comfortable because you're around your people. But the minute you decide to step out of that crowd, for instance, in this situation, we're talking about crab, if you decide to step out that bucket, it feels abnormal to you. It feels relatively different. You're doing something that no one else has done around you. The way that translates to real life is when you're around people that do the exact same thing day to day, and you're that one like-minded person that decides to step out of the circle, step out of the pack to do something that they've never seen before, at first they're going to admire you, but once they see, okay, yeah, we can't relate to you anymore, they can only do two other things: either hate on you or get on the same level as you. And that's where the problem lies. If they can't get on the same level as you, they resort to hate on you. And that's the thing about leveling up in life that people don't understand. For you to level up in life, it's either you bring the people that are with you because they have the same mentality as you, or you have to let go. Even in the Bible, God talks about you can't bring your burdens with you to the promised land, which is a reason why people tend to hate. And it's normal. It's a normal thing. And the way you have to look at it, you have to look at it in a perspective of, okay, I'm doing something that they have never seen. So if they're not admiring me, the only thing they can do is hate. Just in the same way in life where there's two types of spirits. Either you have a good spirit or you have a bad spirit. If a good spirit is leading you, it means you're in the right way. But if the good spirit is not leading you, what other spirit is leading you? Answer that for me. The bad spirit, which is why I'm telling you, in life, there's two types of things that can only happen. Either they admire you or they hate you. If they can't admire you, they will have to hate you. For example, let's talk about basketball. A lot of you guys might know SGA, Shea Alexander. If you guys have been seeing the headlines recently, from 2 years ago to now, the way people talk about him is very different. 2 years ago, people loved him. Why? Because he did something different. He brought a different type of game to the NBA. He showed something different to NBA fans. But now, in this current day and age, he's one of the most hated players. Why? Because it started off by people loving. But the thing is, when people love you too hard, they find little stuff to criticize you on, which comes the hate, which is why I specifically am saying it's normal for people to hate on you. That does not mean you have to stop doing what you have to do. Because people in my day-to life aren't fully supporting me, but nevertheless, there is people that are supporting me. But I've always learned something, I was always told something when I was young. If they can't support or if they can't do what you do, the only thing they can do is hate. If they're hating, it means you're doing something correct. And that's facts. You being limited to your hometown is a trap. And it's a trap that has always been in the people's mind as you grow up older. Basically, let me deep dive into that. So people tend to stay comfortable and stay stagnant by living and staying in their current hometown while trying to expand their life. For example, a lot of these rappers or a lot of these artists, they stay in their hometown because they want to be known as a hometown hero or they want to stay in their hometown because they're around people that they grew up with, or they feel comfortable, or where they feel that warmth. But in life, warmth sometimes can either be good or bad. That goes for everything. Anything can be good or bad, the way you perceive it and the way you utilize it. Let me explain. If you stay somewhere where you feel warmth, it basically means you've never been on the other side of warmth. So there's two sides. There's either warmth or cold. It's either you're warm or you're cold. The same way how in the Bible God talks about either you being warm or cold. If you're always warm, you never felt how it feels to be cold. And how this translates to this situation is, if you're so used to being in your hometown where you're doing the exact same routines every single day, how do you expect to reach that next level? Explain that to me. Like right now, I'm currently in my apartment by myself. I'm just 20. A lot of people don't move out when they're 20. I took that step in my life of, okay, yeah, let me move out to an apartment where I know it costs a little pretty penny and just take that risk. So I went from being warm, staying in my parents' house, to being cold, living on my own. But the thing is, when you're in the coldness for a long time, you get used to it. The coldness becomes your new warm. You get what I'm trying to say? Which is the reason why I'm saying, for you to level up in life, you have to leave the warm to go to the cold, because that cold is probably what's needed for you to reach that stepping stone in life. Because if you adapt to the coldness, like exactly like the Vikings back in the day, they went and battled different ships in different weathers to the point where they got used to the weathers that was giving them a headache initially. Why? Because they got used to it. Exactly how I'm explaining right now, you have to go from being warm to cold, or from cold to warm. You can't just stay on one side forever. Do you think, for example, do you think Drake started as Drake? No, he didn't. He started as Aubrey. He started as a regular guy wanting to become something. But for him to become something, he had to do something. You understand my point? But nevertheless, stagnation and you just staying in one place brings eyes on you and brings attention on you, and it brings accessibility to you. If you're in your hometown and you're trying to be a content creator and everybody knows where you live, as I've said initially in the video, if people don't love you, what do? They hate you. But if everybody knows where you're at all moments, what do you think that does to you as a person that's trying to elevate? It blemish, or it breaks who you're trying to become, because it's just pulling you back into an atmosphere where now you have to be aware of everywhere you go. Not saying that you shouldn't be aware, because as a man, as a woman, you should always be aware of where you're going, what you're doing. My point being is, you have to be able to stay in the cold for a bit for you to fully be able to transform your life and get to that next stepping stone. With that being said, this ties back to what I was initially saying, how you being able to understand and you being able to see how people don't really love you for who you are, and people love you for what you can do for them. And people don't like the fact that you're currently doing something to elevate your life, will blemish how people view you. Because if somebody knows you're just this close to getting to that next level, they will stop you from getting to that next level. Not because they hate you, but because they can't relate to you no more. Which is why it's very important to have discernment and to have understanding about who you keep around. Because if you just keep anybody around, it will kill you sooner than you think. It's like if you have food sitting out and there's a snake in the house. The snake will come after the food. But in this situation, if you're in a big circle of people and you're the food and they're all the snakes, what do you think will happen to you? Answer that question. You will become the food, which ties back to the main point. People only resort to two things in life: they either admire you or they hate you. If they can't admire you because they resent you now, they tend to hate you. So if you've been feeling like that lately, you're not going crazy. It just means you're doing something that you're supposed to be doing in life. It means that you're following your purpose. It means that you're actually aligned to do what you're doing right now, whether that be content creation, whether that be you're drawing arts, whether that be you're making music, no matter whatever you're doing, because there's 1,000 things you could be doing right now. If whatever you're doing, people in your hometown, your circle aren't fully supporting you, it's because you're on the right path. And they know with a little bit of more effort from your end, you're gonna surpass them. You're gonna reach to a point where now they can't relate to you. And once they can't relate to you, that bond that you have with that person is done. It's fully over. When people say you change, it basically means they don't relate to you anymore. And it basically means you're doing what you have to do. Just like I said previously. When people say you change, it's not that you changed. It just the environment of how they had access to you changed. For example, when I started day trading, I wasn't that accessible because I was focused on studying and understanding what I'm currently doing on the charts. So when I came back out, some people were saying, "Well, you changed, or you don't know how to talk to me, or you're not calling me, this and the third." But people don't realize for you to become who you want to be, you have to change. You can't become a millionaire while still doing certain things that kept you broke. For you to become something, you have to embody that. But if you're not able to embody that, it basically means you're still the same person. And if you're the same person, you're not doing something right. For example, if I want to be a person that's a business owner that's bringing in revenue every single month, recurring of $100,000, six figures every single month after tax, don't you think the smartest thing to do is to embody that, to act like a person that is currently running a six-figure per month business? If you're just in bed every single day, just playing Fortnite, playing Call of Duty, or just chasing a woman, or for ladies, you're just chasing men, obviously people won't tell you change because you're still doing the exact same thing with them. But if you're that one like-minded person of your whole friend group that's willing to take that risk, trust and believe, people will tell you you changed. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video. I'm going to be dropping another video, as I mentioned in my previous video. I drop these videos every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I drop a video like this, just on a different topic, just on a topic that just strikes my mind. I don't really like to write down my videos. It's just something that strikes my mind, and I just talk to the camera. Because nevertheless, right now, it's currently 1 a.m., 1:02 a.m., June 2nd. And this just struck my mind. I just took the camera out and recorded. So with that being said, I'm going to be dropping this video every single Wednesday. A video similar to this. It might be a different topic. It might be more relaxed. But be expecting a video every single Wednesday. With that being said, if you did enjoy this video, as I mentioned, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, have a great night, have a great morning, or wherever you guys are. I love you guys. Oasis out.